One of Google's most useful innovations has finally hit South Africa. It allows people who use public transport to effectively plan their routes and even integrates potential delays into the mix.
All over the US and Europe, commuters have been using Google Maps on their mobiles and personal computers to plan a route with built-in schedules. Now, South Africans can also plan their routes with their public transport systems thanks to Google's transit service. Google Transit is a public transport route planner launched back in 2005, initially with support for Portland, Oregon. Today, hundreds of cities in the US, Canada, Europe, Asia, Australia, India, New Zealand, and Africa are able to utilize this service on an everyday basis. The service calculates routes, transit times, and cost, and can compare different modes of transport, for example, using a car versus just taking a stroll. In some cases, Google Transit covers only part of the transit agencies, and in other areas, it doesn't provide public transit directions, but still provides the transit layer, which overlays the schematic of the transit lines on the map. At the moment, it's only fully functional in Cape Town, where Mother City residents and tourists can map their routes using cell phones, computers, and GPS in a much easier and clearer way using the MyCiti bus service. Google Transit allows its users to follow and establish in-depth directions that are based on a point-to-point search. This service will now also notify its users if a MyCiti route crosses paths with the direction they wish to take.
From the very beginning, it's taken us about 1.5 years to get to where we are now, primarily because the longest part of the journey was getting the data from the actual transit system. The data is produced by multiple different systems, and to be able to incorporate it all, to put it in the format that Google needs, which is the GTFS format, was quite an iterative process.
This is the first service in South Africa where the information actually provides full trip planning outputs, so you get highly detailed journey results, including routes and schedules.
To use Google Transit on your mobile phone, there's a couple of ways you could do it. The first is if you had the Google Maps application installed, you could do a from-to search on Google Maps, and it would basically spit out the direction output based on the MyCiti data. The other way is if you were just to go onto your browser on your mobile phone, browse to the Google Maps webpage, do the same thing, a direction search, again you'd get the results based on MyCiti data. Well, I think the innovation comes from the fact that we are probably the first guys in Africa, I stand to be corrected, but I'm pretty sure, the first guys in Africa to have such intricate data. A lot of the other guys who've tried to implement it just have the routes visible. They don't have things like the actual times of the buses and all the linkages between the routes, which is something that's taken a hell of a long time to get to, but it's something which we've now achieved.
For those of you who are always behind schedule, the site delivers on its mandate to provide a user experience that's easy and efficient, a central hub where all commuters can go to keep up to date and on time.
The best case scenario is that in not too long time we have something called GTFS real-time implemented, which is basically what we have now is all static data. So it's data which we receive, we upload, and that's what you see. However, GTFS real-time is where data is actually being updated on the fly as the system is sending new data to the control center, and we can then broadcast that out. So delays, all those types of things will actually be implemented to update the data as you look for direction searches.
So when you find yourself in the heart of Cape Town and you feel like taking a journey around its streets, just pull out your mobile and you'll know just how to get to your destination all the time.